You're listening to the Achievement Mastery Podcast, the show where ambition meets action and high performers come to break through limits, scale big dreams, and master their success. Hosted by performance coach and achievement strategist Lajos Kovacs, a trusted guide to driven entrepreneurs and growth-minded leaders across Europe and beyond. Each episode delivers powerful conversations with world-class experts, visionary entrepreneurs, and unstoppable changemakers, designed to fuel your mindset, your momentum, and your mission. If you're ready to rise above the noise and unlock your next level, you're in the right place. This is the Achievement Mastery Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Achievement Mastery Podcast. I'm your host Lajos, and today's guest is someone I deeply respect, not only as a coach and educator, but also as someone who embodies what it means to live with purpose. Joining me today is Jairek Robbins, a performance coach, author, speaker, and the founder of Performance Coach University, an ICF-accredited program that helps coaches deliver transformational results at the highest level. He's also the mind behind programs like the Business Accelerator, which helps entrepreneurs and leaders scale their businesses by aligning their mindset, systems, and metrics. Jairek has spent his career helping individuals and organizations engineer sustainable growth that's not accidental, but intentional and values-driven. He's worked with Fortune 500 companies, top-performing teams, and thousands of individuals seeking to improve their performance and impact. He's also the author of the best-selling book, Live It, Achieve Success by Living with Purpose, a guide to creating a life aligned with your deepest values. And yes, I've got my own copy right here, and I highly recommend it. I've read it twice already. Jairek, thank you so much for being here. It's truly an honor to have you on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I don't even know where to start. You do so many things that helps entrepreneurs and helps people, but let's talk about your book first, since I have it in my hand. So in your book, Live It, you talk about the importance of defining success on your own terms. Why do so many people chase someone else's definition? And how can they start reconnecting with their own purpose?
Well, depending on where you are in the world, if you look back in history, there's always been a narrative of what success looks like. And so I grew up in America, and here, what's interesting, if you look at the concept of what success is, it's morphed over the years. If you go back far enough, and I'll just talk about, somewhat modern, but things people can understand, there was a time in history where if you were a movie star and a ball player, Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. Wow. Glitz, glimmer, fancy. It was amazing. And there was a time in history where that was success. That was really making it. Gosh, wouldn't it be amazing if you could be a movie star or a baseball player? How incredible. And you fast forward. I'm going to take a big leap here, but you get to the 80s. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. If you drove a red Ferrari and you wore that suit with suspenders and you had a yacht and a house in the Hamptons, you're real successful. Money is power at that stage. And then the supermodels and rock stars, like, the 80s rock. If you had hair that was this big and, you could sing and be crazy, then you'd get supermodels and Playboy models and yachts and all this stuff. And that was success. Nowadays, if someone did something like that, we're like, gosh, do you only care about yourself? What's wrong with you? So it's interesting. That's not what success looks like anymore. You fast forward, success became, more recently, it was if you could be an entrepreneur. Specific, if you could, or before that, it was if you could launch an app. Gosh, if you want to really be successful, you're going to be a tech startup. Wow. If you could launch a website in the .com era, or you could launch an app, golly, 12 employees, barely any revenue, no profit. You could sell your app to Facebook for $1 billion. Oh, Instagram story. Wow, that's the dream. If you could just start an app. And then it was, if you could be an entrepreneur, if you could own your own business, that's the dream. More recently it became, shoot, if you could just argue with your sisters well enough, bingo. Kardashians. You can become billionaires if y'all can have a reality TV show and argue with each other well enough. Launch your own makeup brand. Influencers if you were, I asked a young person the other day, I said, what would you do if you could do anything when you grew up? What would you want to do? And she says, I'd probably just be an influencer. I was like, that's a job. I was in Florida at a networking event, and I walked up to this guy and I met him, and I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. What do you do? It's a business event. So what do you do? And he said, I'm a treasure hunter. And I was like you look for hidden potential in people? And he's like, no, I have a ship and a crew, and we go out in the ocean and we look for sunken treasure. And I was like a pirate? He's like, not a pirate, a treasure hunter. I was like, have you ever found anything? Seems like a reasonable question for a treasure hunter. He goes, of course. Google us, you'll see. I Googled them. They found millions and millions and millions of dollars of Spanish coins and all kinds of stuff. I was like, you can find sunken treasure. And so the reason I said all this, that guy was off the beaten path. But in society, if you pay attention to the internet, TV, social media, any of these platforms, they're usually pushing a narrative around what success looks like. They're taking certain people and they're doing what they call platforming them, where they're putting the resources of the platform underneath them to show you what's possible and inspire you to do what they want you to do. So I remember there are certain people in the personal development industry, when they started launching, they were doing okay. And then all of a sudden they were mega brands globally. And it turns out that Facebook had handpicked a few different people to platform. And the actual platform put all the resource underneath them to raise their profile up on purpose so that they would inspire other people to go, wow, look at them. Maybe I could be like them if I do the behavior every day like they do. And what you don't realize is the platform is selling you a dream. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't get there just because they make videos every day. They got there because the platform got underneath them and pushed them there. And they're good videos. There's great content. I'm not saying anything negative about them. I'm just saying throughout history, the reason why people land up chasing certain dreams often is because there's been a narrative created in society of that's what success looks like. And if you want that kind of success, you have to do those kind of things. Now, my question I propose is, instead of starting with the narrative that life tells you is or isn't success, why don't you start by asking the question, what's most important to you? What's actually most important to you? If you erase all the stuff the world tells you and you just sat down in a quiet place, it says, what's most important to me in life? And you made a list. And whatever that list is, you take that list and you put it up against your calendar. And you say, do the majority of my hours every day align with what's most important to me? And if it does, congratulations. You're authentically living a life that expresses your core values. But what I find for most people is if I ask them what's most important to you and you tell me your list and I say, well, how much time every day do you spend doing those things or participating in that way? Most people's calendar does not reflect their values. They're living a life that's out of integrity with who they really are in hopes to accomplish something that the world has told them what success looks like.
Great. Yeah, I was going to say, I know a lot of people who struggle to create value or build an audience by creating value, and some people just dance with the broccoli and they get millions of views. So it's absolutely crazy. Can you share a moment from your own life or journey where you had to live it, just like in the book, instead of just teaching it? I know that you have some stories because I read it, but I guess not everybody read it. Yeah.
Well, the origin of that concept came from, I grew up in the industry of personal development. So my mom was teaching people how to break through their fears by breaking bricks with their bare hands when I was in her belly. And so I've been in this industry a really long time, like when I was in my mom's belly. Being in the industry that long, I started noticing a pattern where a lot of people learned certain tools. And this was in every walk of life. They went and learned a tool and then they immediately tried to teach other people the tool, but you looked at their life and they never really applied it. And I thought there was a weird gap where people were learning what to do and then trying to teach other people what to do, but they weren't doing it themselves. And so I was like, there's 3 steps. You got to learn what you need to do. You got to live it. You have to actually apply the tools and get the result and then share it with other people. So I termed that learn it, live it, give it. Most people I saw were learn it, give it. I was like, they're missing live it in the middle. They're missing actually applying the tools themselves. And so the whole concept of that book was, can we inspire people to apply the tools? I think of it as a workbook. Read the pages, but do the actions at the end of every chapter and watch what changes. And you measure the results. I'm not going to tell you what will happen or won't. It's up to you. And if you do it, I've just seen a consistent amount of people that when they apply those tools, they tend to get better results. And so for me, my whole life has been that. It's been, what do I really want? How do I want to live? What's most important to me? And so I designed my entire life around values. And so my values, health, family, love, traveling, adventure, giving back, having fun, growing, making a difference, those things are most important to me. If you look at my calendar, that's what we do all day. A friend of mine was on a podcast and he said, find the thing to you that feels like play, but to everyone else in the world who observes look like work. I found my play. I found the thing that feels like I'm goofing off all day and just having fun. And what's amazing is I've gotten really talented and skilled at it over the years. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, that the world reflects back and they're willing to compensate me really well for it. Like, that's incredible. I found the thing that's aligned with my values, that feels like I'm just goofing off and playing all day, and the world observes it as work and valuable to them. Therefore, they're willing to compensate me for doing it. So I would ask people listening, what's that for you? What's the thing you could do all day and just feel like you're playing? And is there something that if you shared that gift with the world in some way, they'd be willing to compensate you for it? The other piece of that that's interesting to me, my first original job, well, not really. My first job was security at Blockbuster, just because I'm a pretty large human. People see me on these conversations, and they're like, oh, yeah, he looks interesting. They meet me in life, and the number one thing they say is like, wow, you're a lot bigger than I thought. So I'm a physically large human. And so my very first job at 15 was security at Blockbuster Video because I could scare people away. And even then, I was driven by results. So theft went down by over 60% within the first 2 weeks of me starting. Apparently, I scared away the DVD thief. But my job was to just walk up and down the aisles and make sure people didn't steal the DVDs. Fast forward, my real job was in my family's nonprofit. And so my work started in just wanting to help people. And I still love that world. I still love the nonprofit, give back, take care of others world. And so I looked out and I said, hey, is there a way I could earn a good living and be just helping people all day long? And I found that crossover in the coaching space. And nowadays, people use the word coach and you think of, a 20-year-old kid in Miami with a Lambo being like, I can coach you to earn money. Not that kind of coach. Those guys, I don't know what they're up to, but that's not of interest. When I think of a coach, I think of, imagine heading to the Olympic Training Center. You're one of the fastest runners in the world, and you're going to go work with a coach that's going to help you push yourself out of your comfort zone into your growth zone, eventually into your stretch zone, where you are maxing out your capacity, what you're really capable of as a human being. That coach is going to be challenging you, inviting you, calling to you to give them everything you've got and see what your true max capacity is, and giving you the right support, resources. If you were building a building, you'd put the scaffolding around it. That coach is going to make sure they build the right scaffolding around your training regimen so that you have the support necessary to push yourself to the extreme of your capacity, the limits of what you're really capable of. But now take that metaphor and apply it to other parts of your life. They're going to help you do that in your business. They're going to help you do that as a parent. They're going to help you do that in your relationship. They're going to help you do that in your health. They're going to help you do that in your finances. Same philosophy, same metaphor, just is going to roll over in the other parts of your life. And so it's not a magic guru formula. There's no pixie dust you sprinkle on an Olympic runner that makes them magically win races. It's consistent effort, accountability, structure, habits, routine, shifting your mindset, getting you in the right place every day, and having the right things done at the right time that lead to consistent results. And so coach is the best word I know for that, because that's what all the best on earth is. Whether you're an athlete, a hedge fund manager, they all seek out a top coach to work with to get themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally at their peak consistently to go after those big results.
I heard you mention once, or even more than once, that growth isn't accidental, it's engineered. Can you break that down? And how do you help your clients structure intentional growth?
I can draw you a picture. Let me see. We had 3 circles, and in the middle here, I'm going to put comfort zone. And so CZ is just comfort zone. And what it stands for is you pick whatever area of life you're currently focused on. So you could be focused on being a great parent. You could be focused on growing a business. You could be focused on being a better leader. You could be focused on getting the best physical, mental, emotional shape of your life. You could be focused on building an empire. You'd be focused on making a ton of money. I don't know what you're focused on, but we'll ask you. You're the host. What are you focused on right now?
My focus is now growing my podcast.
Awesome. And so if I said comfort zone, I would ask you to take out a pen and paper and write down what's everything you're doing that's within your comfort zone. You're comfortable doing it. You know it's probably a good idea. It's fun. You enjoy it. Doesn't take a whole ton of effort. It's just, yeah, I can do that. Of course I'm going to do that. What are 3 or 4 activities that are completely within your comfort zone in growing your podcast?
Arranging interviews.
Cool.
Asking questions.
Cool.
Publishing the episodes.
Perfect. So arranging the interviews, asking questions, publishing the episodes, all within the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Meaning, I know I can do it. I'm comfortable doing it, and I'll do it. Easy, right? Now, if we go out a layer, this one is your growth zone. This is where you're intentionally pushing yourself. So the growth zone is where you're intentionally doing something that's beyond what's comfortable, but you enjoy it. Like for me, I'm very comfortable speaking English. Me habla español un poquito. I'm learning Spanish, but I enjoy it. I want to learn Spanish. I'm excited to learn Spanish. Therefore, I work on it every day, 30 minutes a day. I jump on the Duolingo app and I practice learning Spanish. I also practice Italian. I also practice, Spanish, Italian. I was trying a little bit of Arabic the other day. Very new to that. I'm just trying to learn the sounds. But I'm trying to learn new languages and I'm having fun with it. Oh, French. French I'm actually good at. But the other ones I'm learning. But those are fun to me. I enjoy the process. I'm excited to do it. It's not hard and it's growth. It's beyond what's comfort. So if I were to ask you in podcasting, what falls into that category for you?
But it's not fair. I have to admit that it's not fair because I'm one of your students. So both in the PCU and in the Business Accelerator.
I do this to other podcast hosts too.
Yeah, I learned to step out of my comfort zone, and I'm also a lifelong learner. So I'm learning a lot of new stuff. First of all, yes, about coaching, about business development, about languages. I want to speak 5 languages fluently. Yeah. So I also learn languages, but anyway, English is not my first language. So that's probably in my growth zone already to have a podcast interview in English or create content in English or work in English.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's growth. And that's exciting. It's fun. Like I like learning new languages. You like learning new languages. It's something we look forward to. It's like, I want to do that. I'm willing to put in the time. I'm excited to do that. The third space out here is stretch. And the stretch zone is, that's really pushing me. That's really causing me to wow, that's pushing me beyond what's comfortable. That's pushing me beyond just something that I'm excited to do every day. Like that's really gonna cause me to have to bring my best. And so I'd ask you, for me in the language, if I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Colombia and I'm only gonna speak Spanish for the entire 5 days I'm there. That's a stretch because in my mind, I'm going to tell you, I have some uncertainty. I don't know if I have enough Spanish in order to navigate Colombia for 5 days with only Spanish. Now, here's the truth. Do I? Yes, I do. But you can hear the hesitation, the little bit of that feeling of like, ooh, ah. Now, here's the question. If you were coaching me, you'd ask, what kind of support would you need in order to pull that off? You'd build the scaffolding around the building. You'd start putting in the structure to give me enough support that I could make it happen. I said, well, maybe I'll take someone with me who does speak fluent Spanish so they can help fill in the gaps if I were to miss something. Instead of having to switch to English, I'll just have them as my support a little if needed in moments of, oh, shoot, I can't figure that out. So instead of just quitting and going back to what's comfortable, I'm going to have a little bit of support to hold me accountable to stay with it when I'm in the stretch zone. And so this concept, as simple as it is what we do with everyone we work with. We do this in business. We do this in health, relationships. And it's a very simple concept. It's just the ability to recognize what's in your comfort zone, what is your growth zone that it's fun and exciting to go do, and what's going to really stretch you. And here's what's crazy. At some point, if you keep venturing out into that stretch zone, if you keep moving out there, you keep going out here, you keep finding a way to get into the stretch zone, at some point, it no longer feels like a stretch. My third trip to Colombia, only speaking Spanish, no longer feels like a stretch. At some point, it becomes the comfort zone. I walk in, hola, me hablas español, poquito, blah, 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 blah. I just start talking, and everyone's like, wow, look at him go. And I was like, I remember when I came here the first time, I could barely say, the first 3 sentences. And then I was like, mi no comprende, I don't understand. Now I can walk in the door and just start riffing because I've done it a few times. I've expanded what I'm comfortable doing. And so my question to everyone listening is really simple. Where in your life are you willing to stretch? Or where in your life are you wanting to stretch and you need the support? You need someone who's going to help create the environment that'll make you successful in doing so. Because what most people do is they're like, oh, I'm going to go do that. They show up, they try, it doesn't work the first time, and they're like, screw it, and they run away. They're like, nope, not today. Wasn't built for that. That's not who I am. And it's like, well, wait a second. That's silly. If you didn't have the right support system, it's kind of hard to do that. It's like being an F1 race car driver without a pit crew. Everyone else, they pull in, and in 1.8 seconds, they have fresh tires and they're back on the track. Your car pulls in, you got to jump out of the car, go get the thing, go boop, 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 pull one tire off, put one tire on, boop, 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 and you're running around the car, and 2 minutes later, which doesn't sound like a long time, but if your competitor does it in 1.8 seconds and you're sitting there for 3 minutes trying to flip out your tires, it's really hard to compete. Same thing in life. If you don't have the right support system, if you don't have the right people on your team, it's really hard to compete. And most people think they just don't have it. In reality, they just don't have the right team around them. That goes in business, coaching, life, health, relationships. So my job, I like taking those odd topics that are important to us, and people don't realize you can apply the same philosophy. Who would you put on your pit crew in your relationship if you wanted to stop fighting and start really having that love, passion, and joy every day with your spouse? Who would you want on your pit crew for being a parent? Help you be the best parent you could possibly be. Who would you want on your pit crew or your board of advisors for your financial metrics and your investments to make sure they're going in the right direction? If you could build your own pit crew, you could build your own board of directors. Whose insight would you want in those situations? If you do that right, all of a sudden, what used to feel like a stretch now just feels comfortable. You expand far beyond your old limitations.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. And thanks for mentioning that you don't only have the Business Accelerator and the Performance Coach University, but you also have the Core 4 program. Can you tell me a little bit more about this, who this program is for and what it is about?
So I built the Core 4 because we have business programs and we were helping people scale their business. I mean, we have clients we've helped grow 2,600% over the last few years working together. We have a client that, one of my favorite guys, he's up in Washington State, or he was. When I met him, he was making $20,000 a month, doing really well. And, within a couple years, we had him making like $250,000 a month in net profit every month in his business. It was insane growth. We've helped people Dean and Barb, they grew their business revenue in the pandemic by 50%. Everyone else was struggling. And the analogy I always give is, do you want your performance to be a thermometer where it just takes the temperature of the world and, whatever the world is doing, well, that's as good as we're going to do? Or do you want to be a thermostat where you decide what result you're going to get, and regardless of what happens around you, you drive that result forward? And so all of these people have decided to be a thermostat. They've decided to set the result they want, and regardless of what's happening outside in the world, they drive that result forward with our support. So we've been able to grow these businesses under times when everyone else is failing, falling apart, struggling. It's real tough. And we drive results right through those barriers. And when doing that, I noticed there was a pattern. We were so focused on business, and we were getting phenomenal business results, but then someone would have a health issue, or someone would have a relationship fall apart, or someone would have, I always say a heart attack, divorce, or bankruptcy is the worst case scenario. And so I thought for a second, I said, well, what else could we put in place that would make sure that their version of success isn't just making more money? We do that, but what if we could help them make more money and have great health and have a phenomenal relationship and have their kids actually spend time with them? I said, what if we could do it? In Jerry Maguire, I think they use the word the quan. I want it all, Jerry, is what he says. I want the great family and the big contract and all the things, not just a piece of it. I like that. So traditional thinking says you have to turn off one burner to succeed in another. We reject that. We write the daily rituals and alignment so you can light all 4 burners at once: health, relationship, career, and wealth. And so we figured out, what could you put in place that would be the right habits that, if done consistently, would cause the main areas of your life to flourish. That's what we figured out. The thought and metaphor I always use is, if you think of life as a table, if one leg of the table isn't there, it tips over. And so a life only built on business or money collapses. The core 4 make sure all 4 table legs are present to keep that table sturdy and strong. And so we have strategies to figure out how to help people do that. I'll give you a stat to think about. 76% of high performers report feeling out of balance or disconnected from what really matters in their life. Number 1 regret of the dying, according to that research done by the lady on hospice, was, I wish I hadn't have worked so hard and I would have spent more time doing what I wanted to do with my life. And so the other thing we look at is how to make sure that you're a business owner, not just an operator, so that you get more free time while earning more money and making more profit. It's a unique twist. And when we get it right in businesses, it gives us the ability to have fun. Part of the reason I put this stuff together was my wife and I were very blessed to have figured this out ourselves. So we can run a business and make millions of dollars a year only working 3 days a week, which gives us the ability to travel, have fun, goof off. We live in Puerto Rico, a good part of the year. We travel to all kinds of fun cities in between. And then we're building a house on a game reserve in South Africa to go spend 3 to 5 months a year down there out in nature with all the animals. And one of the hardest parts I've found is finding friends to come with. Because I ask people all the time, I'm like, hey, do you want to come with us? And they're like, wow, that sounds amazing, but I got to work. Or
one
wow,
of them was me.
am-
I'm sorry, not going there last year, but I will this year. And actually, I definitely
They say either I got to work because I have the money, but I don't have the time. Or they say, I'd love to go. I have the time, but shoot, I don't have enough money to go there. So I got annoyed. I was like, okay, we need to start building stuff to show people how to grow their business and free up the time so that they have the money and the time to come do cool shit with us. And so part of it's a little selfish. I wanted fun people with good values to come do cool shit with us all over the world, is the other reason why I built a lot of this stuff.
Okay, but if you want fun people there, I might consider not going. Okay.
No, you're invited. But it's that thought of, part of it's a little selfish of, hey, I figured out how to do this for myself. It's working. I learned it. I'm living it. It's working. Give it. Can I share it with other people? Hey, here's what we've done and here's exactly how we've done it. Can you replicate so you can come do cool shit with us? And that's my intention. Like, I want other people to come have fun.
We have a special section of this show. It's called the rapid fire questions. May I
Sure.
ask you some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
one book other than yours that has shaped your thinking or changed your life. Which one was that book?
Lots of books. So I believe leaders are readers. Someone taught me that when I was young. And so I love to read. One of my favorite books, The Amazing Development of Men, was transformational. I mean, if I were to just riff off a ton of books, The Alchemist, As a Man, Man's Search for Meaning was wonderful. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one of my favorites in the beginning, just understanding the basic principles of wealth building. I had someone tell me the other day, they're like, wow, you're really good at NLP. And I started laughing. I'm like, I never took a course. I did grow up in the industry, though, so a lot of stuff's probably unconscious. But at one point, I wanted to study NLP, so I went and bought the yellow book, NLP for Dummies. It was great. I guess those books.
What's one daily habit or routine that's essential to your success?
So that I'm big on. Daily meditation, daily breath work, sitting in the sauna, working out, mental rehearsal. There's a bunch of those that when I talk about in the book, but stacking those together properly and having the right habit stack makes a world of difference at keeping myself at my best.
Great. Thank you so much. And my last rapid fire question is, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a high performer who feels stuck right now?
Get a coach. Get a coach or get a new coach. If you're stuck, you need someone that has the ability to have a conversation with you that'll invite you out of what's comfortable, get you into that growth zone, and can inspire you, call to you, or challenge you to get out into that stretch zone. And if you're feeling stuck, it just means you're either in the growth zone or you're in the comfort zone. Or you're stretching, but you don't have the right strategy or support to get over the stretch that you're trying to make. And so I would highly recommend getting a coach or getting a different coach that can get you the right support and challenge to push past that obstacle in the stretch zone.
Amazing. Thank you. Really, really. Thank you so much. Jairek, thank you again for this incredible conversation. You've shared such valuable insights around purpose, performance, and building a business that aligns with who we really are. And I know our listeners will take a lot from this. For everyone tuning in, make sure to check the show notes below for all the ways to connect with Jairek, including the Business Accelerator, or if you want to be a coach, the Performance Coach University, or the Core 4 program, or even his book, Live It, and I love it. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss future interviews with world-class performers and game-changing thinkers. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep striving, keep growing, and I will see you in the next episode of the Achievement Mastery Podcast. Thank you, Jairek.
Thank you for having me.